Snorlax appears.
Hi and welcome to WildSnorlaxAppears.com. I'm Andy,
I'm Neil.
and today we're going to be talking about our firsts. And
Firsts.
while that means something else to some people, we're doing it in gaming terms. So, Neil, do you want me to kick off for you?
You can kick off because we've got 14
I can
questions. Kick off
I
two.
hate everything about the world. Right, so
At this
okay.
point.
So we broke this up into sections,
Yes.
and we'll get on with the first sections. Okay, so the first topic we're going to talk about today is the first game you played.
Yes.
So there might be a previous game to this, but I don't have any recollection of it. So my first recollection of playing a game would be Pac-Man on the Atari 2600. We used to do pass the joystick with my family. It was awesome. Remember people having panic attacks because they were getting surrounded by ghosts, and good times.
Because there is a big problem here that everybody might put Pong down. Because
Yeah, I mean that's the case, but I'm going back to the one that, because I just can't remember any other game. I do remember like a actual instance of us all being around the TV. So that's the way I've gone with more or less all of this list. So,
yes. Because this is a problem, because we're like talking about firsts here. It's the first one that we can remember, because obviously we are getting a little bit on in life. So there's a few.
I'm not looking forward to it.
There's a few on this list that we are trying to remember. So yours was Pac-Man, which I think came from the year of our birth. I think it was around
Quite
about
possibly,
80.
But my brother is 10 years older than me, so that's why
Damn
I
it.
probably got access to it that way. So yeah.
But you had a good console, at least you could say. The Atari was actually pretty damn good, and it lasted for decades.
In terms of games, there's some shoddy ones and stuff like that, but yeah, there's some pretty memorable ones. Yeah.
I, however, didn't have a good first computer. I had a Dragon 32. And if you know what one of those is, congratulations, well done. I think it's known in America as a TRS-80, color computer, spelt wrong, but that's just for them. So this is actually the tape from when I played it. This isn't actually, so this came out in, so this is Quest. This came out in 1992. Now, obviously, I didn't play it when I was 2 years old because, let's face it, it's far too complicated. So I played it maybe when I was about 6 or 7. It's done by Aardvark Technical Services, which is a fantastic games company. It kind of puts Codemasters to shame, really. But this is the tagline, and I think you said it in our video actually.
Quest.
A different kind of adventure.
Yes.
Now, different was probably correct because obviously, and this was, I would call it a turn-based RPG if I was being really, really friendly to it. But it actually was a damn good game for the Dragon. Who knew how they managed to put it on this crappy tape? I will never know. The task was to sack the citadel of Murloc, and the best line in the actual manual was, "You are represented by a beige triangle." Rectangle. Same thing. Not really.
I mean, that's my hopes and dreams. One day represented by a beige triangle.
I think I'll say beige rectangle because obviously triangle might be too much to program. But obviously on eBay a few months ago, actually, I came across it. I wasn't looking for it, but this is actually the proper box for it. Because obviously,
Nice.
you don't often get a proper box for the Dragon 32, but it actually even comes with a little slider, like a mini postcard that actually sits inside. But yeah,
Nice.
so Quest was one of the games that I played first. There was also one more called Air Assault, which was you were a pilot in charge of a helicopter, and your helicopter was failing, so you had to clear loads of skyscrapers so that you could land. So you were in a sense causing death to save your own life.
Mass death to save one life. Yes. I don't think they thought that through, really, did they?
It was 1984 by Datacom, and on Wiki, actually, it's actually got a wiki page.
Everything's got a wiki page.
Quote, a mildly entertaining game. So it was mildly entertaining. But yeah, so those were my two games I could think of from a very doomed computer system.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really gone into much detail about Pac-Man because I don't think we need to at this point in
Well,
time.
you are a piece of
But,
you're a piece of pizza. I don't know what you are.
I don't know who you are. You're a man that's a pack, or a pack that's a man.
I mean, Pac-Man is thankfully.
Oh, Puckman, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
Puckman.
Puckman, that's right. Yeah. So did you just pass it every time you died? You actually passed the joystick
Well,
along?
I think there was like a multiplayer aspect to it,
Mhm.
where you each had your own like level or something.
Ah,
I
right.
don't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't put that down as something we're going to talk about later, but because there's something else I prefer about that, because that was past the joystick, so couch co-op to a degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably my first memory of a game.
Nice. Good memories though.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You're gonna really shout at me about this next, but we're gonna go on to the next subject, which is about the first game you bought.
Yes.
So
Yes. First game I bought.
if I'm honest, it's probably gonna be like a 4-game cassette for
Like a
the Commodore 64.
It was called
that I
a.
got for £1.40 or something.
Yeah. Was it called
called
a Quadro collection? Wasn't it or something?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. The Quadro, yeah.
Yeah.
And you got loads of games on that, and it was
Yes.
awesome. But I wouldn't be able to tell you a game that it was the first one. So the game that sticks with me, and once again I'm going this route
Yep.
with or route if you're American. I don't want to
No,
disturb
let's just say
anyone.
root for God's sake.
Yes, please. I always got that because there was a movie I used to watch, Hot Shots, and at one point he said,
Charlie
"No one's
Sheen.
taking that route with me."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's a route?" I didn't understand it till much later. But anyway, moving on with life. So yeah, I'm going to say the game that sticks with me most would be X-Men: Children of the Atom on the Sega Saturn. Now this is quite late, but a lot of the games I got during my childhood were swaps with friends.
Yes. Or from parents.
Or parents for gifts and stuff
Yep.
like that. But I remember X-Men: Children of the Atom because I rented it for like 2 weeks
And loved
because I
it.
loved it that much.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just going to buy it. So eventually I did. But yeah, it's a great game, X-Men: Children of the Atom. It's Capcom Fighter
Yep.
with the X-Men. Hey, what more
That's-
could you want?
that
So,
seems
like, the
Insane that really the first one that you could say, look, I remember buying
is
this
actually on
was
Sega
a
Saturn,
Saturn. Yeah.
I was a spoiled child.
Well,
but
well,
yeah.
So you would say that to anybody, go out and buy that one for the Saturn then?
Well, I think it's this was after Street Fighter, obviously, but before they started doing Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. So it is just the X-Men. It's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of the abilities that later came into the Marvel games because they did kind of follow that route. So massive jumping, massive supers, really over-the-top fighting. It was really good. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Would you have anything else? No, over the top fighter, definitely.
To be honest with you, I preferred X-Men: Children of the Atom over, I think it was called Marvel Superheroes, but I can't be entirely sure
Yeah.
because they changed the roster a little bit there, and it was all the Marvel people. So you had Captain America, Spider-Man, stuff like that, and it was about the Infinity Gauntlet and
Okay.
gems and stuff like
Thanos
that.
and
But
stuff, yeah.
no, to me, it was X-Men: Children of the Atom because it was just like a pure fighter. There was not too much to. You didn't have the extra like assists from the gems or anything like that, and that's the reason I like it. So because it's like Street Fighter but with X-Men.
Okay then. So how much was that then? Give me a Saturn
I think
game.
the renting company was so kind to me that I'd rented it for so long they gave me a bit of money off. So I think I paid like £25 for it in the end.
That's not bad.
But
Okay.
I maybe spent £30 on the renting. But anyway, moving on from life.
They saw you coming. My first
did.
game that I bought, and this was Northeast Scotland. It must have been around about. This is Fantasy World Dizzy, 1989. Now, obviously, this must have been when I bought it because I think it had just come out. So here's me, 9-year-old kid, walking down the road with my like £2 pocket money.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to buy a game. However, I didn't have a clue about what game to buy. I could have bought any turd, and let's face it, over the years I did buy any turd. But there was only like 6 games on the like rack in this tiny little games shop in like northeast of like rural Scotland. So thankfully it was this game, because let's face it, it's a fantastic game for the like Commodore 64. Well, and
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been
Spectrum.
that much either, would it? So
I think it was either $1.99 or it could have maybe flipped over to $2.99, but I think it was $1.99.
yeah, it's still worth it though. Yeah.
Christ, I mean, think about it. £2 these days can get you what? Like a 25th of COD. Yeah, or one Twix, exactly. So what a first game, really. I mean, compared to like COD these days, that's like 40 odd quid. How can kids afford a game
50.
these days? Is it 50 quid?
Most RRP this day and age is $49.99, if not higher.
I got £1 per week pocket money. How much are these kids getting now? Like a tenner or something?
Does pocket money exist, or people just getting jobs earlier?
Aye, true. Actually, yeah, you can see the like 12-year-olds going down the like sewers or something. I don't know. But anyway,
up the chimneys.
The third in the like Dizzy series. If you haven't played it, play it. So that's it, and this is still it. This is the game that I bought back then.
Oh wow, that's
I've basically kept it for all this time.
I've still got Children of the Atom somewhere, actually. Like thinking about it, I think the case is knackered because it was the UK Saturn cases, which were
breakable,
made out of disintegrating material,
eggshells and like polystyrene or something. Yeah, rubbish.
Glue, plastic, and cardboard, and the glue didn't last.
Typical. But that's it. Okay, so that's the first game that we bought.
Yep.
Next topic is actually I have got a slight little one as well. I've actually got the first game that my mum did buy me. Because I do remember her coming home going, "Is this any good?" And it was Paperboy for the Commodore 64.
I loved it. Is this any good, Neil?
I don't think she knew what she was buying either, but it did have Game of the Year on it, so obviously still to that day it actually works.
Wow.
So again, that was fantastic. That was that's 1987, so it must have been around the like same time, maybe when I was 8 or 9 years old. All I do remember from Paperboy is stupid dogs that like used to chase you, or remote control cars that also used to just come out in the middle of the road.
I had Paperboy on the a friend did. I remember playing it anyway. Could have been a demo for all I know.
Yeah.
But I do remember it was a lot easier to persuade someone to get you games when it was like 4 on a cassette.
Yes. If you 4 games for £2, for example, I mean,
exactly.
These days, can I buy a game? No. Is it any good? So make a choice,
don't you? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And sometimes you still make the
maybe that's not a bad thing, because it's like, I want everything, just give me everything. So.
Well, I remember you had to do tape-to-tape copying back in the day, so you needed like a dual-headed cassette. Anyway, that's maybe gone too.
Yeah.
But I do remember doing that as well. Maybe. Right. Okay. So sorry. The next topic then is.
I have first game you loved, Dan.
First game I loved. Right. Okay. Go on then. Take it away.
Right. I'm gonna actually say Moon Patrol on the Atari 2600.
I think we played Moon Patrol. That's like a wee buggy, isn't it? And you're going along.
When I was doing this list and writing it up, I had to think about like really early on and about games I really loved playing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this game wasn't easy for me. It was very difficult. So that you're jumping over little mounds, you're jumping over cracks, you're shooting aliens, you're speeding up, you're slowing down to make sure you can do everything. But it was so much fun, and I recently played the arcade version when we went to an arcade place in Leeds, and while it looked vastly different, obviously, from the Atari version, the sound effects were exactly the same. And I started having flashbacks while I was playing it just because of the sound effects.
That's nice.
Oh my God. I remember that jump sound. I remember that. Oh, it was amazing.
That's like muscle memory.
Yeah, it is to a degree. But it was just, it was weird. It was weird. I was in an arcade. I'm like, God, I remember being really young, and it's like, oh, I'm jumping, oh, it's a double jump, oh, I've got to make sure I speed up, oh, I've got to slow down, oh, I've got to shoot while I'm jumping. But yeah, I absolutely adored that game, and it was one game I'd always love playing with my brother. We do pass it. Obviously it's not multiplayer, but it's pass the joystick, so you die, you have a go, I die, you have a go. So a lot of these might actually be, I think the first couple of options are 2600s on mine.
Yes.
So,
well,
yeah, I do love that game. Do love it.
It does make sense, because obviously the Atari was obviously a big hit in the 70s and like 80s. So I would expect yours to be quite a lot of,
Yeah, well, maybe not all of them. I mean, we'll get into it when we get to the sections, but it's very specific, and yeah, I think we talked about it earlier about. When you're younger and you don't have much options, you don't generally hate anything.
No, this is it.
We'll get to that when we get to it.
Because obviously we're doing loved, but there might be a hate one coming up. But when you're younger, That's right. When you're younger, you can take more crap. I think this is it.
Yeah, I think you love everything.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
And even if
Even if it wasn't good, it was just nice to have something different.
exactly, so you would try it and go, no,
Yeah.
I probably won't try it again. But because a lot of mine were also not official, you were less bothered. It's only when you actually went out and spent money. Come on, everybody that had a Commodore 64 had tape to tape, or
indeed.
Anyway, so obviously Andy's gone for a lot of the 2600s. I didn't have one of those. I had a Dragon 32.
I technically didn't have one. I had it was my brother's, but that's the way I was introduced to gaming.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So my dad hated gaming, so he went from a Dragon 32, which he got as a wedding present, but he didn't really.
Nice.
Yeah. And then he like chucked it, even though it was fully working. Never mind. So a lot of mine will be Commodore 64 based, because I got that when I was about 7 or 8 years old. So this is school days. 1980. Yes, we played it and got to the point where we opened up all the shields. So we opened up the ability to try and get the password. 1984 this is. And I just love it how this comes in like a nice red case. It's and I love it how it has to say 64 after everything. See, Nintendo, you won first.
No, you weren't. They mean vastly different things, though.
Yes, this probably means it's 64K rather than
Yeah, probably.
But school days, I think it has come on the Commodore 64 Mini because it's that good that they had to put it on as like one
classic,
of the. Yeah, Spectrum version is just as good. It was the first game that actually had some kind of length to it, because I know that quite a lot of games are like you can end it within like 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, but this game it lasted for half an hour plus. So that's why I enjoyed it. It was a bit more in depth. So give it a go if you haven't tried it. Yeah. So school days.
Yeah. And emulation.
It's. How big are the files?
How about this? Get them Commodore Mini. How about that?
Get the Commodore Mini with the fully functioning keyboard, because that's.
Is that coming out, or is that out now?
It's already out. Yeah, I was tempted to, but I really shouldn't. So yeah.
Okay,
yes, go for it. No, go on.
I was going to say we could move on to the next section.
I don't have this game.
No.
There's nothing.
We're going to talk about first game you hated. Now, I found it really difficult to find a game that I actually really hated. I'm thinking back about it. So I went through Commodore. I'm like, nothing really jumps out. I went through Master System. Games were difficult, but there's nothing I really hated.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Drive, similar again. I only really got games I was interested in, and that one. But I'm going to say this might not be hated, but the first game that really disappointed me, I'm going to go with Mario Kart on the N64.
Right. Okay. Yes, compared to the SNES version, you're absolutely right. But
I was really disappointed in it.
It's a bit of a shock. Why was that then? Just the 3D-ness.
I think I know it's going to be a bit of a shock, and it might be controversial, but I absolutely adore the SNES version of this game.
Yes. Yeah.
I played the shit out of that game with my friends. Really did. I remember one friend getting the best lap time on the first race. I think Mushroom Kingdom. I can't remember which one it was.
You basically killed him and you hit his body.
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out how to reset the game memory, but I couldn't. But it was I spent so many times trying to beat that time, but it was amazing, and I love the single player aspect of that game is amazing, and I still love it to this day.
Yes.
It's also probably a game I thought it's one probably I would actually say this. It's one of the games I thought I was really good at. And then we went to a Play Retro one year, and we challenged these people to do a lap time, and they would give you a head start.
It was half a lap. It was half a lap head start or something crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. And I thought, I'm pretty good at Mario Kart. I fancy my chances. Nope.
It's because they could jump and cut corners.
It was just insane. But anyway, moving on to N64.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst the multiplayer aspect was good, and I do admit that the game gave Mario Kart some really good aspects, like the triple stuff and the long line of bananas and other things like that.
Yeah.
Just a shoddy implementation of the difficulty curve on it was just really piss poor in my opinion.
Right.
You use a boost and a boost and a boost and a golden boost, and they're still catching up with you, and it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
it's artificially inflating the difficulty
Yes,
curve just
yeah.
for pointless reasons.
So
It
you
didn't
could
make any sense.
you could have gone slower, but still they'd be right on your tail. I mean, they wouldn't exactly go ahead of you as such.
You could have gone to light speed and they would have caught up with you.
Yeah, it's like
That's the matter.
Crash Team Racing's the same though.
Yeah.
So
And I think it is just, I don't know. It just didn't have the kind of polish that the 2D version had. Maybe they were getting to grips with the N64.
yeah,
I don't know. There's some great levels in it. The multiplayer is good fun when it's just you guys, maybe in the battle mode or something like that. But it's just the computer difficulty,
Mhm.
and it's it really didn't sit well with me as a sequel to the first SNES game. But that's my opinion. But
I mean, I'd be tempted to put GoldenEye because you know me. In fact, this is going to lead on to mine now. So if you want to say anything
Okay,
else
yeah,
about
yeah.
Mario Kart, because this is quite good actually. Because if I
go on,
bought
yeah.
if I bought GoldenEye and played it a lot, I'd put that up high as well. Because trying to play GoldenEye on a silly little stick
Yeah,
with the crappy graphics and the quad screen, which is what Mario Kart did as well, obviously, wasn't it? I remember
yeah.
we were at college and we played Mario Kart on a quad, tiny, like a TV, and you're like,
and GoldenEye as well, I believe, didn't we?
yeah. I hated GoldenEye, but I've gone for a 1996 game. Obviously, this game has caused me to hate first-person shooters completely. And the game is Quake. Quake. No, sorry. Quake. Now, this is it. Like you said, I can handle most games from the Commodore 64 being a bit turdy because they're cheap Oreo copies. Amiga days, again, there wasn't really some duff ones. There probably was, but we concentrated on the games that we liked.
No, indeed, yeah.
Strafe jumping, corpse camping, gits. I think as soon as other humans were introduced into gaming, I started to I don't know. First-person shooters and me don't get on because I'm not good at them, and I'll admit that is its flaw, me. But as soon as somebody started to bunny hop around and still aim for me, I hit them 7,000 times. Exaggeration. It's an exaggeration. I hit them several times. They still stay alive. They hit me once, I die. Now maybe that's a headshot, maybe, but that's what I hate about Quake.
It's still like that to this day, to be honest with you.
Yes, I can't play any first-person shooter, and I blame. Because we were 16 when Quake came out, so that was quite late.
I remember we used to sneak demos onto the college computers.
We played multiplayer Quake, and I hated it.
Yeah, indeed.
But that's it. 16 years old is quite late to start hating your first game, but that one's stuck in my mind because
because it's tarnished your love.
Yes.
Any love of FPS since then. Yeah.
There could be a good FPS, but I wouldn't know if it hit me in the face because I hate them all now. So I really hate Quake. Unreal, the same. Team Fortress, the same. Counter-Strike, I hate you too. The amount of people that make money, like professional money from Counter-Strikes.
It bugs me, Counter-Strike. Don't get me started.
Anti-terrorists. Oh, please, just look.
Yeah.
You're all shit. Get in a bin. They're not, but it's horses for courses, and I just can't do FPSs. So
I think what you might want to try, if you ever want to give FPS a go, would be like a single-player campaign like Doom. The Doom campaign is fantastic.
Original Doom.
No, 2016.
2016. Yeah, that's also what I hate as well. That's what I hate as well. When they call when they call the same, like a new game, the same name as they called it.
You're gonna hate the Xbox Series X.
Sexbox, Beecroft. It's called Sexbox because they can't really name it properly. Oh, we're gonna call it Xbox S X P. I don't know. Anyway, so that was the game that I hated, and everybody that knows me kind of knows why. I still.
Yeah, I watch my friend's son play Fortnite, and when it gets into the battle things, I'm like, I have no idea what's going on right now. I have no idea what's happening. What's happening?
If you were to ask me the question, your latest game that you hate, Fortnite, top.
You'd say Fortnite.
Top every time. Top.
Well, I've come out controversially recently and said I'm actually enjoying playing it with my niece and with my friend's son now and again. It's but yeah, I know.
I think we might have to call it there then, because I can't.
No,
Right.
I've got 2 more pages left.
Oh, good. Okay. So what's the next topic then?
So shall we go with the first game you wish you were good at then?
Yes. Okay. Go for it.
Right. So I'm going to do a similar thing to what Neil did with his last one. I'm going to name a game,
Okay.
but I'm going to say the genre as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to say Street Fighter.
Yes.
Probably specifically Street Fighter 2. If not later games, because they're more technical.
Yes, but compared to the average mean person, like Meridian, whatever it is, you are good.
Yeah.
You're just talking about the guys that play it competitive. Well,
not
online.
even competitive.
No, online. Online.
So, I'm saying Street Fighter, but I'm going to say fighting games in general.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the exact same thing as Neil. I always thought I was pretty good at these games because I have
Shit friends.
no, not shit friends, but you get to learn each other and you know what to look out for.
Yeah.
I mean, I play games with my friend James, fighting games a lot.
Mhm.
Soul Calibur, Dead
Killer
or Alive,
Instinct. Yeah.
Killer Instinct, and we're pretty even. But there's certain games which we feel like, oh, I know what he's going to do. I'll just block and I'll be fine.
Hmm.
And I always thought we were pretty equal.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Virtua Fighter 2.
God.
Virtua Fighter 3.
God, there.
We really want a Virtua Fighter game. There's some teasing recently whether Sega was saying soon or something, and it was a fighter, and it was like, oh my god, imagine Virtua Fighter 6 in this day and age.
Nice. Yes.
Anyway, cracking back on. But yeah, I mean, it's like I remember the first time I actually challenged someone who wasn't a friend, and he wasn't like a proper. It wasn't like I challenge you.
Your
It was
first
like,
mistake.
I'm at an arcade. There's an MK2 machine. So Mortal Kombat for layman's. And now, like, you know what? I'm going to give that guy a go. I'm going to put £2 in, and he literally destroyed me. And I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm not actually any good at this game.
It's depressing.
What if I'm not good at any game? And it happens. Like, I remember when Street Fighter 4 came out. I'm like, ooh, Street Fighter 4, yes. Started playing it like day one. Oh, I'm winning a few matches, losing some. That's fine. Later on, oh, I'm losing everything. I am literally losing everything. And the same thing happened with Street Fighter 5 recently. I got in the first season, I got to silver. With Ryu. I'm like, yay, silver. And then as soon as season 2 hit, I went back nearly down to rookie. I know I don't think you can, but
right.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so basically, I mean, when I got to know that about the fighting game community and starting looking at videos, especially, I mean, there's one I want to name, which is Evo. It's called Evo Moment 37, number 37, and it's between two fighters, Daigo Mahara and Justin Wong. Japanese player Daigo and American player Justin.
Oh wait, he blocked every single.
He parried every single one. He had no life left. If he was going to get hit, he was going to die, even if he blocked. And he managed to parry everything of a super move and then go on to run around. And it's a great video if you want to watch it. It really is a great video, and I'd recommend it. But yeah, it's mainly for me. It's like I've said Street Fighter, but it's mainly any fighting game.
But that's the pinnacle, yeah. I mean, and
yeah. I'm not saying I want to be like that, but
worms like me are on the floor, and you are decent. That's the thing. I think in your case, you can hold your own against the like average layman, like middle ground.
Yeah. I mean, a good analogy is like a golfer who's got a low what's the word?
Handicap.
A low handicap.
Yeah.
There's more difference between someone with a low handicap and a professional than someone with a low handicap and someone who's only just started the game, for example. I think that's the way you've got to look at it. So.
Yeah, I guess so, because when you're professional, you can really hit a dime, as we say.
Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's at least a good one. I have also got a genres, but mainly one game. Can you think of what game this could be?
Quake.
Just in general, Super Mario Brothers. It's just platforming in like general, but Super Mario Brothers was the platform game, really. And back when I was young, because this is 87, it came out. When I was young, I wanted to be really good at this game. And
didn't we all?
Yes, it's true.
And didn't we all think we were as well?
No. Sorry, that's the problem. I've never completed this game. I've never completed it. Never have. No, never. And I don't think I ever will, because I just die stupidly. I panic and just die. I do stupid little jumps when there should be big jumps. I just run into things. I am not a good gamer. Not at all. the fact is that I can't complete even this game, and this is a game I wanted to be good at, really, and Super Mario Bros. 3, because they're both excellent games.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and I struggle badly with any kind of platformer because you have to be skillful. So I think Super Mario Brothers, I wish I was better at it, because this was the first game that I saw on the NES, and it was the game that made me want one. And
Yeah.
I just
I'll be honest, the thing for the NES for me was Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but yeah.
Ah, right, nice. I've got that as well. I didn't get past the second level, so.
It's difficult. Yeah.
But yeah, no, don't get me wrong. NES games are designed to be difficult, aren't they? Because I mean, some of them are insane. Hence, that's why the Japanese didn't send over Super Mario Bros. 2. We got some kind of
and it was
docky.
bastardized version of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we got some kind of stupid other caveman-y type one. But no, Super Mario Brothers. I wish I was good. But I don't think I ever will be. So that's mine. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the current speed record for that on
5 minutes or something.
It's 4 minutes 55 seconds or something. I mean, I keep trying to follow what I do, and I have got to the last level.
Oh, nice.
On the Switch, but it's just insane.
I just love how you have to go backwards to go forwards. Don't you have to face backwards to? If you start facing backwards,
there's a way you can jump. You can clip into things, and you can.
Yes.
Depending on the way Mario's facing, but it's insane the amount of knowledge that people have about that game now.
Yeah, watch a video on how to speedrun it. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like buses, isn't it? It's like when your like cycle goes, your bus is going, so you have to wait now a few milliseconds to us. But
exactly, yeah, it's to be honest with you, it's really interesting even for non-gamers, because it's just like Jesus, the amount of thought that's gone into how this works is insane.
I just don't know how these people can figure this stuff out. It's amazing, really.
I mean, I guess with emulation and ROMs, they can look inside the game a bit more, and they can design custom stuff to see what's going on. But
that is very true. Yeah,
it is insane.
That's insane. Right. Okay. So that's games that you wish you were good. Right. Next topic then.
First game you hoped was great but wasn't?
Yes, that's fine. Off you go.
Right, so I'm going to say one that is I've actually played quite recently, very recently. In fact, I actually completed quite recently, and this is a game called Aliens Colonial Marines.
Okay, yes, that was build.
The reason I put this on here was I heard about this game back in college when I was around 17, and I thought, oh, imagine this, a class-based FPS based around the Aliens franchise. You can go see where the Aliens 2 happened, which is a really good movie if you're into non-intellectual stuff. But anyway, no, it's a great movie. I love that movie. It's one of the first... I mean, I classed it as horror because I'm a chicken. It's one of the first horror movies that I could actually watch, but we all know it's an action movie.
Yep.
But yeah, I heard about this back when I was 17, so that would be 1997.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to 2013. The game was released. It'd been in development hell, and actually the development of the game is more interesting than
the actual game.
Yeah. So I had me and a friend had this, and we played through it recently. Actually on stream, I've got some videos I'm going to try and put out just to show you.
That some my fool actually completed it. Yeah,
but it's I've got to say, even after all the fixes they did and everything else like that, it's really it's just, I mean, you have the pulse rifle from the movies, and it feels like you're shooting a pea shooter. It does. You just don't feel. I know it's hard to feel something with a mouse and keyboard, but you just don't feel anything. Some games really get that working well, like Doom 2016. Haha. But it just felt. I mean, one thing I will say about the game was that the environmental artists are really top notch. I mean, it looks great. The environments are awesome. It feels like you're in the actual. When you get to the bit where they all were in the operations room, it's like, holy shit, this is the operations room. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And there's some really atmospheric bits, but the aliens are janky. They fall over like they're made of paper. You feel like you're hitting them with keys. I mean, the one bit I really enjoyed was when we got the smart gun, but that was about it. And I had that for like 15 seconds.
Oh, right, okay. Well, you
end up fighting
go on.
more humans.
I was going to say that. Yeah, you end up fighting more men than you do aliens, which we were confused because we played it when it came out. And
I mean, that is the case early on.
Yeah,
I will say that now. But once you get down, because you actually go down to the actual planet, and then you are fighting off aliens, but then humans come back into it. And then
of course they do.
Human aliens.
Do you get to fight like a queen alien at all?
You don't fight her, you survive her.
Okay, that's
But actually, you do fight
good.
her. So, because you survive her on the ground, and then you go up into a spaceship, and you have to get her out of the spaceship.
Okay.
You have to do that by goading in front of something that you knock off. We managed to do it, and then it cuts to a cut sequence and yada yada yada. But I mean, this was a game that I love Aliens, the movie, and I'm like, oh, imagine just being there. That's going to be so cool.
It was such a good idea, and I think if it had been implemented correctly, because it like passed from
If
software
Gearbox
house.
farmed it out.
Yeah.
And said they were doing stuff. I mean, I think even Sega thought about bringing a class action lawsuit against.
It must have been
Gearbox.
close, yeah, because Gearbox were big names. Still are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the issue is, I mean, they released a E3 demo and it looked fantastic. Environmental lighting, everything like that.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
When the game came out, it's like, this looks like garbage.
So
and it still doesn't look that great, to be honest with you, either.
So even if we call it the Watchdog effect, even though this happened earlier,
this is the Aliens ACM
we should call it the we should call it the ACM effect when like Watchdogs and all that bollocks happens. Yeah.
But it was unfortunate because I mean I convinced Neil and a friend of ours to get it on release because I thought yes we've been waiting for this, it's going to be great, and it's like
it was the graphics were poor as well, weren't they? They really were.
They have been updated. I mean, like I say, once you get into the environments on the ground in the other places, it's actually really, really good.
Yeah, nice. Well, at least...
But it's just like AIs all over the shop and stuff like that. And I mean, modders have tried to fix the issues around the game because we had aliens tap dancing up against a wall and doing random shit.
Right.
And modders had actually got it into a place where it was actually good. But I'm hopefully quoting it right, but I think it was found out that it was a spelling mistake on a variable that had stopped the aliens from functioning properly.
I see.
That was fixed. Things started to work out, but still, they are a little bit janky still.
Yeah. Well,
I've done my.
That's a good choice. I think that was a good choice because that was one that was really missold quite badly.
But the fact is, we'd been waiting it for so long. I mean, we heard about it when we were 17, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. And actually, the hype was still quite good when we bought it, and then we
yeah. I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Right. Well, okay. So that was a good choice. I've got here we go. I've got a game that was started to be developed in 1985, but didn't get released until 4 years later. Now this will be quite controversial because it is a good game series. It's SimCity. One slight catch, SimCity on the Commodore 64. Now, I
think you've shown me the graphics on this before.
There wasn't any graphic. Okay, no, sorry, there was. Think of a car. Think of a pixel. That's your car. Think of a small house being built that was a few pixels shoved together to form like a rectangle. A big block of flats was a bigger rectangle. No colour at all, really, except for blue for the water, green for the grass, and the rest of the thing was grey. So it was grey. A residential area block was a square with an R in it. And that's it. So yes. So you can all imagine that this game was... And I bought... This is the original game that I bought when I was about 10. I think it was 1990 roughly. I bought this game. It was round about the time where I started to actually read some magazines, not reviews as such, because if I read the... I mean, I'm not sure what it got in it, but you know percentage-wise. But no, this game, unfortunately, was... not suitable for the Commodore.
To the imagination.
The Amiga version is fantastic. 2000, 3000, a fantastic games. Well done, Maxis. You did well up until EA screwed you over. Rip, Maxis.
That's a common theme, shall we say?
Well, EA's ripped a lot of companies, but SimCity on the Commodore 64. I mean, this is the tape. This is the disc version as well. So God only knows if you had a tape version, how long it would have taken to actually load. SimCity on the Commodore 64, it was a big... I still played it for hours, don't get me wrong, because it was better than nothing else. But I think
Exactly. That's what we did, though. That's what we did. Yeah.
I paid about £12 for it. So back in the day, a lot of money. Because it was $7.99 tape, $11.99, a disc. So you paid a bit extra. I do have a little caveat, a side one as well, just to mention, because obviously I'm a massive fan of the Dizzy games. Spellbound Dizzy... compared to the rest of them, it's awful, and it's we always hoped for like a brand new Dizzy game, but when this one came out, it didn't cut the mustard compared to Magic Land, like Treasure Island. Those were fantastic masterpieces. Spellbound was just confusing with the like boulders. You had to keep walking back and forth with boulders in your hand. And there was a massive mistake in it where if you jumped off of one screen, you ended up on the opening title sequences, and that was it, locked in.
All right, nice.
Yeah, you couldn't actually play the game. It had basically frozen.
Right, so that was first game you hoped was great but wasn't.
But wasn't. Yep.
So let's do first game you hoped was great and was.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to picture the scene here. The N64 is out. I don't have one as a child yet. I have my Sega Saturn, and I'm like, I don't have a Mario 64 that I can call my own because I don't have a Nintendo 64. I only have a Sega Saturn. And then Nights into Dreams was announced.
Nice.
So this is the game that Sega released, I believe, in response to Mario 64.
Right.
It came with an analog pad as well for the Sega Saturn.
Wait. It came with its own specific pad?
Yeah, it came with an analog pad. It was the first time that the Sega needed one, apparently.
Nice.
So
Ever.
up until then, Sega Saturn had a digital pad, much like the PlayStation, if you remember.
Yeah.
They only got analog later on. So yeah, this was the game that the analog pad was built for initially. And I don't think I could really classify what Nights into Dreams is as a game type, because Scar Attack and other things like that, I believe.
Mystical dream adventure. I don't know.
Mystical dream adventure. Let's go on that. And I absolutely fell in love with it. To me, it's one of my favorite games on the Saturn, if not the favorite. You obviously play as the two young children at the start. You jump into Nights, and then you fly around gathering all you need in order to get through the different stages, and then face the boss at the end. Of the 4 different stages, and it is so much fun.
Yeah.
And while some people say, "Oh, it's very linear, you don't really do much," maybe you don't, but it's like, "Oh, this time I'm gonna try and get a permanent challenge going with my links. I'm gonna keep a link going." Me and my friends used to have link challenges on certain levels.
Nice.
I think I held the record on one level with 1,400.
4 days.
So I went. So I kept going around for quite a while. But yeah, it's and it looked awesome as well. Obviously, when you go back to it now, it doesn't look as good, obviously. But yeah, and I just fell in love with it, and it was, in my opinion, a good response to Mario 64. Obviously, it doesn't have the same freedom that Mario 64 has, even though you can walk around the level as the two children,
or have the same camera.
No. Well, that was one good thing, because I guess you didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It had some really cool little things where you could breed the little creatures, Nitopians, by hitting them into another creature, and then you'd have this weird mismatch of a creature. But yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, they also released something called Christmas Nights, and I didn't play this
special edition
much later in my life, because I missed the Sega Saturn magazine that had it on the cover disc.
Oh, that's bad.
I was devastated.
Yeah.
And I didn't play it until much later. And obviously, as soon as they brought out the high def remix on I think they brought it out on the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. I bought it immediately.
Nice.
And I still enjoy going back to the game now and again, because it does bring back a lot of memories. But
yeah,
that's my game that because it was like, oh look, I've got an N64 and I'm playing Mario 64. I know it's a great game. I don't have it, and I can't answer it with anything I have. But yeah. That's what Nights was for me. I played the crap out of that game.
Just as an off thingy, Mario 64 and me and like platforming, also I hate that game as well. But never mind, because people are saying that's the top five games of all time, Mario 64.
Maybe.
But
I think it'd been surpassed by the later Mario games, if I'm honest.
Maybe Odyssey, but yeah, again, no. Anyway, I was so glad when
Odyssey is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so glad that like Breath of the Wild beat Odyssey for quite a few things. But anyway.
Yeah, but you don't like Breath of the Wild either.
Oh no, I really do. I just need to get back into it and try and play it, because I've only really played.
Well.
I spent 6 hours to try and get out the starting area, but we won't talk about that. Sega Saturn though, the problem with that Sega Saturn is that it had quite a few games, but not many. So if you had a gem like
Nights. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You had to, because
I mean, it was just Sega kind of released all the best games for it anyway. I mean, there was even in Christmas Nights you could play as Sonic.
Nice.
But you ran around the level, obviously, and then faced an inflatable Robotnik at the end.
I like that.
It was like, oh my god, it's a 3D Sonic.
Yeah, an actual good 3D Sonic, because
Well, I have a soft spot in my heart for Sonic Adventure 2, if
Adventure.
I'm honest.
Yeah.
Adventure 2, yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So that's quite good that you speak so passionately about a game for the Sega Saturn, because I don't know how many more people will.
I'm going to say something here. I had to have my help buying this because initially the game and the pad was £96.
Right, and that was back in 2000?
1999. I want to say 96.
Oh, blimey, Jesus. So that's
Maybe 90, maybe even earlier, but I can't actually remember the date personally.
That's insane. Right, okay, so this is first game you hope was great and was. Well, little Neil started to read magazine reviews, because back in the day there was obviously CVG, there was Zap 64 for the Commodore 64, and there was one called I've even forgotten it. No, it's not. It's still here. It's one called ACE, Advanced Computer Entertainment. This is February '92 edition. You can see how it's the Godfather advert got KO'd. But wee Neil started to read reviews on Monkey Island 2, and this is it. And Ace scored things out of 1,000. Not 100%, because they're a bit edgy and cool. So Monkey Island 2 got 950 out of 9.5 out of 10, but 950.
Yeah. Let's be honest, that's what it really was, yeah.
And obviously we had all played, and when I say played Monkey Island, I played at my friend's house for not long, because at that point I still hadn't got an Amiga. So as soon as I got an Amiga, this is also a first actually, but we didn't include it in. The first game I ever bought for the Amiga was Monkey Island 2, and it was worth £35. So imagine me having to now step up from £1.99 to £35.
It's insane.
Is insane.
Yeah.
11 discs as well. So I mean, it was
Jesus Christ.
It was a hell of a game, and this was one of the games that I obviously hoped that it was going to be amazing, because my love of graphic adventures is extremely high, and this game is near the top of the best graphic adventure of all time. And I got some good value from this game, because I got stuck on it quite a lot. But no, Monkey Island 2, LucasArts, and
they were famous for lots of stuff, weren't they, back then?
Indiana Jones, Day of the Tentacle. I mean, Full Throttle. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yes. So I hope Monkey Island 2 was good because of the reviews. So I went and bought it when I first got my Amiga, and thank Christ it was amazing. Still one of my favorite games to this day.
Indeed.
Enough said. So yeah. So next topic.
I believe this is first multiplayer experience.
First multiplayer experience. Yes.
So, as I said earlier, one of my first games I remember was Pac-Man, and how I used to play it with my family, but that was past the joystick. So
yes.
I've gone with the first versus game I ever played.
Okay.
So two players on time at the same time.
Was it still Atari or?
It was, and it was boxing.
Oh, boxing. Boxing.
Me and my brother used to play the crap out of this game. I rarely ever beat him because it was so funny, because you could punch him with his arm, and then it'd automatically knock you over there and punch, and he would just punch and he loved it. Maybe because he just wanted to beat me up, I don't know. And this is the only way he could do it legally. But I do remember actually beating him one game, and he's saying he's had enough now, and he turned it off. But,
he retired from his international boxing career.
But yeah, I remember playing that game all the time. I'd want to play Moon Patrol. He'd say, let's try boxing first, and we'd play boxing, and I'd get beaten up quite badly. But yeah, it was a lot of fun as well. I mean, there's other multiplayer experiences in Atari as well, like Skydiver, I believe it was called.
Oh yes, we played Skydiver.
That's a lot of fun as well.
It is.
Just crashing into the ground, but yeah.
I love how we actually forgot, or like you forgot, because I hadn't played it before, how to actually play the game. So we were sending the guys out, and they were like, "Wee!" That was insane.
And it's insane. But yeah, boxing is the game I'm going to name for this one.
I love how boxing, because the games were just coming out, you didn't have to think of anything posh name-wise. It was boxing.
No, exactly.
There was probably skiing. There was probably.
And now it's Super Boxing Mega Mix Volume 6.
Exactly.
Alpha.
Or Boxing 2016. Yeah. Fuck off,
Skydiver
Doom.
2016.
Yeah, exactly. Skydiver 2016 VR. VR. Okay, so that's a good one again because that shows how old we are. Oh.
Yeah.
My first game was from 1984. Obviously, that's when it was released. I didn't play it then. Again, it was 6 or 7. It was Dragon 32. Define multiplayer.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, my game was Snail Pace. Now, Snail Pace, forget NBA 2K20. This was simulated gambling back when I was 6. So well done, Mum. You did well.
Nice.
It could have been 7, so I'll let you off. Snail Pace was, again, a Datacom game. This is what they called entertainment back in the day. It was basically, please enter a number of players. I think it was up to 4 players. So this is the multiplayer aspect. You had about 6 or 7 snails in a grid, and you had to bet on which snail you thought was going to win. And
Jesus Christ, it's like we're going to the dogs.
it had odds as well, so it was like 3 to 1 on, and
How
so
can snails have odds?
well,
This
because
one was bred in the fire pits of.
it's the like red rum of like l'escargot. But anyway, so basically you had to then, I think you either had to sit through it or you could press space and it would just go, your snail 3-1. Let's see how you did. And I think that's all it was. So Snail Pace, it wasn't really good, but it was my first multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
Unless you class the like Pong games, which I'm not going to include, because otherwise Pong would be every answer to this bloody first thing.
Wait, it wouldn't be, because I didn't play Pong till much later in life. My brother didn't actually have Pong.
I had one of these silly just TV machines. It wasn't on any proper console.
I don't think we ever had one of those. We just had the Atari, and that lasted us until. I think
it
think
must
the
have been.
next console after the Atari was maybe Commodore. No, would have been Master System maybe.
Yeah, Master System was great as well. But I know with this little console had tennis, which was just extra sticks in the middle, I think, or it was hockey that had extra sticks. Basically, it was Pong, which with different sticks. So no, Snail Pace for me. It's not a good answer, but it is an answer.
Indeed.
So yeah, don't play it. Okay, so next one was
first time you beat the unbeatable person.
Okay, I want to go first on this because
you can do.
Very simply, I have never done that.
Oh
no,
of course you have.
I have no. I was thinking for quite a few days. Okay, I must have beat somebody that kind of, I like shouldn't have beat, and it just stemmed back when we played NBA Jam on the like Mega CD, where at one stage I was winning quite comfortably, and I was gloriously happy with that. Then, unfortunately, the guy that actually knows how to play the damn game came back, and even with a fluky 3 points right at the end, I still couldn't win. That is the story of my life, really, because any time that I thought I would win, it gets taken out of my grasp. Like Rally Masters, do you want to tell the like Rally Masters story?
Yes. So Rally Masters is the game that we got after Colin McRae Rally 1.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a PC game. I really enjoyed it. I got a little bit too good at it, but there was one race where I was struggling, and Neil was in the lead. He was approaching the finish line, and he rammed into the finishing post and got stuck, and I passed him and won the.
It was the first time we realised that the finishing post was physical. So I rammed into it, and in the seconds it took me to reverse and get over the finish line, and he came along and went, whee! And that just...
that's such a good game.
But that just proves my point. You mastered it on a controller, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't play racing games on keyboard.
No.
I can't.
No, but I mean...
I can do FPSs and stuff like that on keyboard and mouse. I do them on controller, but I can't. I'm really poor on driving games on controller.
Yeah.
Without being on the controller, sorry.
But I can safely say anybody that I could have like done like a fantastic victory, I never did. So that's me. Over to you.
Well, I've got a sensible soccer story, and it's not against you because. Let's face it, you're my unbeatable person on Sensible Soccer. I cannot beat Neil. I cannot beat him, and it infuriates me.
But
you
once
beat again.
Wait.
Thought,
You like beat me on FIFA 97 Total Football. Football Glory. You beat me on pretty much every single. Micro Soccer, though, I get the victory. Go on.
It has to be Sensible Soccer. It has to be. I thought I was pretty good at this, I'll be honest. I used to play a friend after school, and I could never beat him. And then one weekend, it was like, oh, I've beaten you. That's amazing. And he even made an excuse saying, oh, I could have stopped that. And I'm like, well, you didn't. And I
Oh, that's bad. That's bad sportsmanship, that, isn't it? Yeah.
And I must say, at that point, it felt like a. I can rest now.
I'll wait from your shoulders.
I can rest.
Yeah.
I can just go home and rest. But it was such a good moment. But unfortunately, as I stated, I now have another unbeatable person on Sensible Soccer, and it's Mr. Neil.
Look,
I cannot touch him. He could choose a barrel of monkeys as his team, and he'd literally still beat me.
and that was quite good because when we did the 5-match series, that kind of was proven because
let's not talk about that, please. Let's not talk about that.
But
because I may have gone a bit. What's to say? I may have gone a bit. Oh, what's he called? Jose Mourinho on you there.
that can mean anything. Scary.
That can mean anything, and it did mean anything.
But however okay I am at Sensible Soccer, my education did stifle because of that. Because rather than actually studying, I played that every afternoon for years. So I do put that. I put my Commodore Amiga down to the fact that. And me, it's obviously me, but my Commodore Amiga did.
If I didn't have my Commodore Amiga, I would have been a genius by now.
No, but I probably would have had a SNES instead or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
I loved my Commodore Amiga 600. That was fantastic. So
I have a new unbeatable person, and that is Neil. And one day, I might even win a game. That's all I need. I don't need like a massive series to win. I just need to win one game.
Thing is, if I was a good guy, I would let you do it, but I'm gonna try and beat you every time.
No, I don't want you to. I want you to beat me. I need to have that thrill again. So
I'll admit it though. That's a difference. But there we go. So that's your unbeatable person. Next one. I don't know.
Right, I struggled with this. So this is the first game you completed.
Oh right, yes.
So I was really struggling about. Wow. I didn't complete a lot as a child.
No, neither did I. No,
I didn't really. So the only game I could actually think of was Sonic the Hedgehog on the Master System.
That's a good one to have though, as a
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, people had Mega Drives and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I've only got a Master System, so I'm going to play the shit out of Sonic.
Wasn't the Master System version of Sonic good though? I think it was, wasn't it?
It was very good.
Yeah,
it was very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember all of it, but like levels where you're in the jungle, stuff like that. It was amazing. Which I'd say beats some of the levels in the Mega Drive version.
Yeah, like I just want to jump in and say my sister had a Game Gear, and obviously Sonic 1 on the Game Gear is a completely different game almost. They almost had to like re-engineer it, and it was fantastic. And I never completed it, obviously, lol.
No.
But that game was amazing on the Game Gear. Sorry, carry on. Just
because I mean, if you, in my opinion, like the first couple of levels on Sonic the Hedgehog and Mega Drive are out of this world. The Green Hill Zone 1, 2, and 3, and then the boss. Oh, well, the boss is in 3. But then you get to the Marble Zone, it's like, this is awful.
Yeah.
It's become a platformer.
Which is the one with all the pipes? There was loads of pipes. Was it chemical? Or...
it could be chemical, but
or
this
scrap,
one was the one
was it Scrap Brain?
You start on the top, and then you work your way into the zone. There's loads of lava, there's dropping blocks. You need to push blocks into the lava, then jump on it.
Yeah.
Avoid the little stuff. So there's lots of stuff like that, and it just slowed the game down.
Yep.
So Sonic was about speed and stuff like that.
Got to go fast, yeah.
Well, what's the point? But yeah, I did complete it on the Master System.
Yep. So that must have been about 90. Was that 90? 91?
Yeah, and I'm going to say this wasn't actually my first game on the Master System, but it was the only game one of the first games I completed, because the only other game I had at the time was Alex Kidd in Miracle World.
If you can see it, it's roughly here.
Yeah, which I thought it was an absolute demon to get through.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest now, I never got past the first boss.
It was tricky though, I have to admit.
I mean, I played the first level so much that I knew as soon as I lost my bike on the bike level after the first level,
It was game over.
just restart.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're in a world of hurt. So just restart and carry on. Obviously, I should have really just focused on doing it and stuff like that. But
No.
yeah, and it wasn't until later on that I found out that every time you face a guy in Alex the Kid,
Yep.
his hand signals are always the same.
Ah. Okay.
The second time you face him, it's random.
Ah.
So if you can write down what he does the first time, you'll always beat him. But unfortunately, I
Wow.
didn't know that.
That's a good bit of knowledge.
I
Though.
mean, I saw someone play through it recently, and it was really interesting to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good.
That sounds.
Yeah, that's me. Sonic
Yeah.
Hedgehog.
Like you say, and I haven't completed a Sonic game yet, especially Sonic 2 on the Game Gear. If you've ever played that, you know my heartache because of the bouncing bombs. You couldn't really tell where the bombs were coming in. The noise, that noise sometimes helped you, but I only got past that a handful of times onto the levels with the hang gliders. But so I haven't completed a Sonic game yet to this day. It can almost be said the same with Mario games. Like I said, platformers. I am absolutely
Super Mario Land.
Super Mario Land is the only Mario game I have completed ever.
Oh, I'm so sorry I jumped in because I thought.
No, it's good because it's coming to this. So in 1990, I was 10 when I bought this. My mum and dad lovingly bought me a Game Boy with Tetris, and this was my first game that I bought for the Game Boy.
Game.
It's one of the best on there. It blows Mario Land 2 out of the water, and I love it. How on earth they fitted in the game onto a cart, and B, they've managed to fit all the sprites onto the screen is, I'll still never know, because it's amazing. Like Mario's like 5 pixels high or something.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
Mario Land, I think you share the like love of this game as well.
I didn't get a Game Boy till much later on though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I got a Game Gear. My sister got a I got a Game Boy. My sister got a Game Gear, and although at times I was jealous when we were out and about with battery life, I was the king.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In the kingdom of the no batteries, a one battery man, is king. So yeah.
Guy with no backlight and black and white graphics is king. Let's say.
Yeah, I had to buy a Game Light as well, wasn't it? A Game Boy Light. Yeah, and slash magnifier. But no, Super Mario Land. It was because we were out and about so much that I kind of had to play this game, really. So I was kind of forced to, in a weird kind of gaming way. That's the only reason why I actually managed to do it, just perseverance. And it's probably the same with other Mario games. I just didn't have the same time with the game. But Super Mario Land, one of the best games for the Game Boy. So that was, definitely.
Indeed, I completely agree as well. Yeah. I absolutely love that game.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And
when I got my Game Boy, I played the crap out of it.
Yes, I mean,
couldn't stop playing it.
I mean, people obviously, Super Mario World is the best Mario game, but Mario Land for me is extremely high up as well. Cause,
oh yeah, indeed. I can't completely agree with you. I think it is.
Because how on earth did they get that on a Game Boy when other games were
amazing,
rank? There was a lot of tosh on the Game Boy.
You look at the later Mario games where he's massive and you have to scroll the screen to move everywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I instantly dislike it.
Yeah.
I instantly dislike it because you lose the speed.
Yes.
Because you can't see where you're going.
That's right. You have to be careful on every screen you go on because you're like
Indeed, yeah.
So fantastic game, and I love the crap out of it as well. Yeah. So okay, so that's first game you completed. That's probably still to this day first and last. No, it's not. But
you've probably done more. Indeed.
It's just So
right. So the next section is the first wow gaming moment.
Yes. Okay. Go.
You want to go first on me?
No, go for it. You go. Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be pretty poor, and I'm sorry about this, but for me, this is when Street Fighter came to the Mega Drive.
Oh, okay. That's a good thing, isn't it?
You're probably not expecting that. Yeah, no, it's good. It's
yeah.
But that's a wow moment. It's like, oh wow. I read so much about the development in any magazine I could get about it coming out for the thing, about how it's going to be good on the Mega Drive compared to the SNES and stuff like that.
You needed 6 button controller, didn't you, for that?
You didn't need it.
No,
but it helped.
Yeah.
But I remember reading about this. I'm going to go back to a childhood story here. So I had a magazine. My family owned a bus company, so I used to go everywhere on the buses. On school holidays, we were off to Blackpool to stay over for a few days, and I had my magazine about the Mega Drive, reading about about what the challenges they were doing, about how they were changing animations
Yeah.
or reducing animations and stuff like that. And I played Street Fighter on the thing, and I'm like, oh, this is really good. I got beaten there and swore. And I think I was only young, but someone swore at me, telling me never to effing get close to beating me again. I'm like, all right, whatever. But then when it came out on the Mega Drive and I plugged it in, it's just like, oh my god, how have they done this? It looks arcade perfect. It looks obviously we now know it's not arcade perfect because of slow down and reduced the amount of animation frames and stuff like that. But it was amazing, and it came on a 32 meg cartridge.
Yeah.
Because they put that in big letters, 32 megabytes.
You have to show off about that kind of stuff, don't you? I mean,
yeah. And it was just amazing, and I played that game so much, and it was all about just just how, I mean, and this is a sad thing to say because obviously when we moved to 3D, consoles became less powerful than the arcades and so on and so on. But at that point, it was like, oh, we're so close to being nearly arcade perfect, like Golden Axe.
Yes. That's a classic.
Street Fighter, and it was like, oh my god, I no longer have to go put money into an arcade machine to play Street Fighter. I've got it on my console, and yeah, for me that was it. I mean, it's probably not as big a wow moment as some probably people say, but for me it was just just seeing that and just like, and I'd never been as excited about a game coming out as I had been for Street Fighter 2 on the Mega Drive.
And this is the thing, because not everybody could even smell like a Neo Geo system, where you have arcade carts the size of boxes, and you have to slide them.
£100 each.
And exactly. So I mean, to have these games that were amazingly playable on these little Diddy systems that cost the same as a Neo Geo game was an amazing breakthrough, and I think that's why everybody.
And I don't know what it was, but I remember getting it and it making me almost feel sick about getting it.
Nice.
If that makes sense. Because I was just like, I'm playing it, but yeah, that's it for me. And I have a love for Street Fighter games, and as I've said earlier, I want to be better at them, but I can beat my friends, and that's enough for me.
Yes, because I don't even know how to do it like a fireball. So there we go. So first wow moment. This is the one that like you dropped in and saying like, when did you go wow? And it has to be this one for me. It's one of the best games of all time, and it made me want to buy a Commodore Amiga. This was the game. Obviously, it was Monkey Island as well, but it was this game. And if you see 100 lemmings moving, so you've essentially got 100 characters you can control on a screen. And remember, we were used to Commodore 64, and where you were lucky if you had a few things moving on screen.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And this game is, as soon as I saw it playing on an Amiga 500, I said I needed to have one of these machines. And this was only when I was maybe 10, maybe even I would say 1990 is when I first saw an Amiga. And Lemmings for me is it's like one of the games of ever, really, for me.
I totally agree. Yeah.
It's also quite nice that it's from Dundee as well, so we're kind of akin, So but no, I mean, I wish I was around, and I wish I could program in, and I wish I was kind of part of a game like this where
oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
I mean, just to have your name associated with it. I mean, these days anyone has a team of 100 people, doing AAA games. At least these guys maybe had, like, I don't know, 5 or 6, maybe, I don't know how many people. But
indeed, I mean, yeah.
When I first saw this, I went, wow, yeah, I need to nick this machine off this guy.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, I had a similar experience with the Lemmings as well. A friend of mine got an Amiga 500.
Yep.
I went around to his house and he was showing me what it could do, and we booted up Lemmings and said, look, we just don't know what we're doing on this.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's have a look. Move the mouse around. It's like, oh, we click on that. Oh, there you go.
Yep.
You just click on that, and we do it. And it's like, oh, genius moment. But yeah, it was a good moment. I enjoyed it.
Because
Lemmings is great. Yeah.
I love how it like ramps up nicely. It teaches you how to use the basics, and then it says, figure out how to get your lemming all the way around the screen. It's like, oh, okay,
And there'd be so many times where you're thinking, this is chuffing impossible.
Yeah.
Whoever made this game is not. It's just.
And they want
to figure it out, and it was like, oh.
they're masterpieces. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Some of the level designs are scary, and it wasn't.
Definitely.
It wasn't even on the like tricky ones. I was still going, wow, this is great on the like medium, hardness ones. Hardness. It is a word.
Do you remember the level where you had to build a bridge all the way up to?
It was called a ladder
Stairs.
to heaven, stairs to heaven.
Yeah.
Because
I remember that.
it basically said heaven this way, and you had to keep them all in like a little, bundle.
Yeah, 2 blockers. To keep them together,
and then you had to build. And if you started too early or too late, you kind of missed the platform.
Oh, my hated thing was I got a builder halfway up and I misclicked, and
so you had to.
I'm going to blow up a blocker, but I'm going to lose more lemmings here.
Yes. Because you can never just get 1 or 2 out of the like safety zone, because they all flooded.
The safety zone, they all merged together, didn't they?
Yeah.
More or less, so.
God, we could talk about lemmings for quite some time. That's how
Quite
good
possible.
it is. Yeah. Right. Okay. So first WoW game moment. Yeah. Definitely for me. Right. Next topic.
I've got this down as first game you played that deserves a sequel.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this.
So I found this quite hard to answer, because thinking about it and thinking back over all the games I played, I was like, oh, I'm really struggling to game that hadn't got a sequel.
Yes.
Or hadn't. So I'm going to talk about Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Oh, now this is the one that's worth what, £200 now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I saw this in the rental shop I was, and I immediately bought it because I'm like, nope, I'm getting it. I don't care. I absolutely love the game, and now I'm not the biggest fan of like turn-based RPGs.
Yeah.
If I'm going to say so, but this just blew me away. I absolutely love it. When I was playing it back then, I haven't revisited it. I really should do, but it was just amazing. Just everything about it, the massive bosses, the grand scale of it, the evolving dragon, and you could run around and do stuff as well, and it just looked great. And I was like, oh, maybe the story's going to leave this open for a sequel, but we never got anything. And in itself, it is a sequel to apparently the other 2 games, Panzer Dragoon and Panzer Dragoon 2. But it's
completely
like
different, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely different. But it is a really great RPG, and I will say this, and I'm not proud of it, but it's one of the few RPG games I've ever completed.
Nice.
I played from start to finish.
Yeah.
Other games I've just got into them, played them a little bit, and given up on them. And I've never even played Final Fantasy VII.
No, neither have I. I haven't played any Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But this game just hooked me and drew me, and I absolutely went to town on it. I really did. And I was so hoping they were going to come out with one, maybe even on the Dreamcast or something like that. But we never got it.
They probably should have. It's because the Dreamcast failed as well. This is a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was more successful.
Talk about Sega in a massive pod. We'll have to do a talk about
Sony killed Sega. Sega killed Sega. Yeah, we always do this.
Sega killed Sega.
Yeah, we always do this.
I'll never fucking forgive Sony.
But the Dreamcast was ahead of its time, so that's.
Massively. I mean, the first multiplayer game system.
Yeah, but obviously this is for the Saturn, wasn't it? Dragon.
Yeah, it was Panzer Dragoon Saga. Yeah, it was for the Sega Saturn.
And this is one of the this is one of the holy grail of retro game collectors now.
Burning Rangers is also a massive one.
Yeah.
Like I saw that recently for £125.
Yeah.
But that's like a. I've forgotten what the team name is, but I think it was. They used to be called Sonic Team,
right?
Who actually did Burning Rangers as well, because they did Knights as well.
All right. Okay. Nice.
But Panzer Dragoon Saga, it's like I said, for a man who doesn't like turn-based RPGs, I played the shit out of this game.
That must show how good it actually is. Then I mean, surely if you know.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I even did boss fights again just because I wanted to see them.
Yes. Nice.
They were that amazing. So, yeah.
How many discs was it? Was it 4?
4 discs, yeah.
Yeah. See, so that's crazy. Yeah. So it must have been quite a long game.
Yeah, but the way it ended, I was sure they were going to do something, but obviously
they probably were
invested into a game, and it's just they couldn't really justify it.
Yeah.
But a Panzer Dragoon Saga has just come out on the Switch, so
nice.
There you go. Yeah.
Excellent news.
Yeah, console exclusive, so it might be coming to other consoles as well.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, so that was a good choice then. My one is a bit strange because I can't really get away from the graphic adventures. Now, this is these are like
Oh.
okay games. This is The Curse of Monkey Island and Escape from Monkey Island. These are good games, both done by LucasArts/Film. However, these were done without Ron Gilbert, the like daddy of Monkey Island.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, I mean, this is the first game that I thought needed a sequel. I wanted Monkey Island 3 by Ron Gilbert. So even though Monkey Island 2 did technically get a sequel, it didn't, in my mind, get a true sequel.
Okay.
Disney now own the Monkey Island franchise.
Really?
Yeah, because
Lucasfilm, yeah.
they binned Lucasfilm Games. They said, no, mate.
They did, didn't they? That was stupid. Sorry.
So, of course it is. Of course. And so then you give some rights to companies that really don't need any rights anymore.
Yeah.
So, Disney owned Monkey Island. I think it's because they were planning on doing a film at one point.
But
then,
that'd be amazing.
Pirates of the Caribbean came along and like ruined it.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, so...
Well, the first movie's good. But
yeah, first. Oh, it is, but I would have loved a Monkey Island film.
Oh yeah, definitely. Who wouldn't? Yeah.
But now they need to give the rights for Monkey Island back to Ron Gilbert, or to Ron Gilbert.
Involve him in the game.
Or involve him in the game, I guess. But we've seen how well Thimbleweed Park went as a modern retro, point and click graphic adventure. So give it back to him, because you're not going to use it for anything, guys. If you're being honest with yourselves, you're not gonna really. So give it back to the guy that actually says he would happily try and do a third Monkey Island. So
he's actually come out and said that.
Yeah. So
wow.
So give it back to like Daddy and make him make a game. Definitely.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Yes. My other one was actually, I do have it somewhere, but Westwood Studios. Fantastic company that did so many good games.
Command and Conquer.
Command and Conquer being the pinnacle, but
Westwood game. Yeah.
Blade Runner. Blade Runner was a fantastic visual point and click again. It wasn't so. It was more about the story and how they did it with the graphics and the mood and the script and all that. If only they could have done like a follow-up or a slightly different version. So Blade Runner 2, I would have loved to play that as well, because the graphics for back in the day were absolutely unbelievable.
Because it was like CGI rendered, wasn't it?
Yes. I mean, it took parts, or it took in... Obviously, they couldn't do Blade Runner as we know it, but they damn well tried to keep it as close as they could.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, so that would have been fantastic. And again, that was one of the studios that were bought over by somebody else. It could have even been EA again, but
yeah, because I have heard recently they're going to remake it, aren't they?
Yes, which will be interesting. But
interesting to say the least. Yeah.
I don't think I've played it recently, and it still holds up. So I don't know why you would want to remake it again. But
new audience or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
It must be hard to get hold of now and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it on GOG, DRM free. So
really?
So I would say I had to download. I've actually got the discs, but you need to download like a patch from like Germany or something to play. To play it. But GOG can now do it
from Germany.
Well, it's I had to get it delivered, but by post.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, Blade Runner 2, I would have loved that as well. So yeah, that's another one.
Indeed.
Okay.
It made more sense of the new Blade Runner movie, but anyway. So.
Yes, well, yeah, because I found that boring. I hate to say that, but anyway.
I was in the cinema and I was getting deafened, so every time the loud boom, I used to have my fingers in my ears just to survive the movie.
Ah, Christ.
Because I couldn't actually get through it, because it was vibrating so much it was damaging the cinema speakers. You could
Two members of my family fell asleep. Right, okay. Parts of it might have been amazing. I'm not saying that is complete turd, but
I will say something that new Blade Runner movie is that it looks stunning.
Yes,
it really does.
Yes,
yeah.
and well done for bringing Harrison Ford back in some kind of role.
Oh definitely.
But it's right. Okay, so next topic then.
Okay, so we're going to put this down as our first VR game played, but we're going to say.
Oh.
I mean, if you had this, obviously. From the old system, then you win. You win this round, I guess.
Yes, but, from the very first VR where it had the huge.
New one. Yeah.
Yeah, I never played the old-fashioned VR. Sorry. So
no, I never did. I queued it once, but I couldn't get there.
Yeah.
It was so busy.
Yep.
So I'm separating this up because the first experience I had in VR was that an experience. So you stood still, you looked around, you did nothing.
Right.
So the first game I ever played was a game called Farpoint on the Sony PSVR
Nice. Yes.
at a friend's house. Now this is there's a co-op aspect and there's a story aspect. And yes, as Neil's demonstrating, you use the aim controller. And if it wasn't for the aim controller, I probably would have said something else.
Yes. Okay.
Well, if we had to give our best, I'd say it was someone else. But the aim controller makes this game
Yes.
unbelievable. So obviously, the Farpoint game is that you're sucked into a black hole. You're following the story through. You're tracing these people. You're learning their story as you go through, and then you meet someone later on,
Mhm.
and then you have to try and get off this planet that's got all these bugs and stuff that are trying to kill you. I really enjoy it because
Yeah.
and it's the simple things like, oh, I have a sniper rifle. I need to scope. How do I scope? You bring the aim control up to your eye, and that for me was like,
That's
wow.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
No,
awesome.
that's
That's awesome.
because this game was very. It
Very
was
hit and
actually
miss.
yes.
People do not like it, and I'll
But-
admit I understand what they're saying. But for
some
me,
people put it on their Game of the Year list as well. So
yeah. So for me, I mean, as soon as you disabled the warping or the turning where you turn in like increments,
Yep.
it becomes like an FPS. So as soon as you can get a head round on the aim controller using the stick to move
Yep.
and your head to turn and like that, I think it's one of the greatest FPS experiences I've had
Mhm.
in recent memory, apart from probably Doom 2016 on the PC.
nice.
But and then you take into the co-op aspect of it, where
Yes.
I played. So the co-op levels are totally different to the single player levels.
I was going to say, how does that
So-
work? Because
Yeah, so basically the story mode is single player only, and the co-op levels, you have all these different levels that you've just got to start and get through.
nice. Okay.
And it is so good. It's so good. You've got one person who gets a different loadout. They go in, you're sniping from the background, you're trying to take them out. You can res them and stuff like that. And I had so much fun playing this.
Yeah.
Co-op. It's amazing.
No,
And,
when you were doing your like little playthrough bits of it, it looked actually quite interesting, especially with the dynamics with the gun.
The gun is
Yeah.
amazing. And one of the other dynamics was me and my friend were playing the co-op mission and we got stuck in some weird geometry and we couldn't get out.
Yep.
So I'm like, how do we get out of this? And you actually turn the
Grenade?
gun on yourself
All right. Yeah.
and you pull the trigger and it kills you. And it's like, holy fuck.
That's pretty. This is it.
That's pretty dark, yeah, but it's the combination of it as well, and it just makes it so good.
See, this is it. This is why VR has a future, but they need to have excellent games come out for it. Otherwise, because there's a lot of dross. I was going to.
A lot of people are saying that is going to be
Alex.
yeah. But there is a lot of shit.
That's it. Everybody's jumped on a bandwagon to like try and get some like cheap cash, and a lot of it is just our game that's been turned into VR, and it's like, come on, guys, you can do better than that.
Exactly. But I mean, initially when I played Farpoint, because I had all the settings on that reduce motion sickness, I was like, I'm not feeling this. I don't like the warping, and then when you turn that off and stuff like that, you can handle it.
Yeah.
It's great. I absolutely. I still think about the game now and again and go back to it. And there's even
that's good.
I accidentally found out once where when you're in the loading screen and you're doing your loadout, you can actually knock items off the desk into a little hole, and you get points.
Oh, nice.
So you've got to keep doing it and get higher points. You get an achievement if you get like 1,000 points or something. So, and I found it by accident because I was like, fuck this desk, and I saw something go into the hole, and I'm like, oh, I got points for that. Let's do it more.
That's amazing. Bang.
Yeah, so it was awesome.
Because
little things like that.
Do you know what I was worried about? And I was really worried that me and you were going to have the same game on this list on this one.
Really?
So I'm kind of glad, because in terms of VR, because you've got the PSVR.
PSVR, and that's and I experienced that at a friend's house.
And you've got games like, is it Everybody's Golf? Is it?
Yeah, I still need to play a lot of these, unfortunately, because the only issue with VR, it's cumbersome.
Yes, yeah, it's until
PSVR, it's the breakout box, then it's plugging that in there, that into the TV, this into here, headphones on, enough space, and then moving on. But like with the Quest and stuff like that, it's getting a lot better, and hopefully we're moving in the right direction. Because I think some of the experiences that could be had in that game are amazing.
Yes, no, I think
Anyway, I'll let you crack on. Sorry.
games like Astrobot and stuff like
I
that.
think I know what you're going to say though, but I'm interested to hear it. So yeah, but I'll let you continue.
No, go on.
No, I honestly think you're going to say Super Hot VR.
It's the best game. Yes, Super Hot VR. Super Hot VR
Sorry.
by a long way from what I've played, but Super Hot VR can hold up against any VR game out there.
Yeah, it's made for VR. If I'm honest, it's perfect.
People could spend. It's quite a short-ish game, isn't it? But people can go back and spend hours on it and getting sick in the process. But no, just when I borrowed Adam's Vive, wasn't it? And we were just first figuring it out and all that, and you were tentatively going and you're trying to grab hold of a knife that was on a table, or even the gun that was slightly coming towards you, and because they only move when you move, you were doing it really slowly, and then all of a sudden you went, and then all of a sudden 6 bullets come at you. No, Super Hot VR is definitely one of the best games I've ever played because of the interactivity and the immersiveness of it. I mean, it just go on.
We were playing it at the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'd got crouched behind a desk.
Which is awesome.
And then I went to put my hand out to rest on the desk because I was losing my balance, and I just went face first into the carpet.
But then did your character do that though? That's
I don't know, because I panicked because I'm like, oh, I've broken your Vive. I can't afford a Vive. So.
No, and this is the problem though, isn't it? The cost of the virtual reality set as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
come down a lot. So like with the Quest, what it is. But yeah. Anyway, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that was pretty much it. Because I mean, I was then going on to say Half-Life Alyx and games like that are so needed for like these systems.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But it's also good to see that, and like games for the PS4 like Astrobot and Everybody's Golf and all that.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and that was £200. But then again, you need the camera and you need the golf balls.
Yeah, I had the golf ball things from the PS3, so that was okay.
Yeah.
Because basically they are, because you can tell when you look on the side of them, it doesn't say options or the other thing on the PS4 controller. It says start and select.
Got you.
Which is from the PS3 days. They just labelled it up as PS4.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's a great little system. But I have played Super Hot VR on the PSVR as well, and it's great. It's so much good. The only downside with the PSVR is the low resolution. That's the issue.
Yeah, true. And it's like when I had to go on yours, and I was down like a sledge, wasn't it, or a sled, like a skateboard. I was like sat back. It was luge, wasn't it? It was like street luge or something.
Yeah.
And
on VR Worlds, isn't it? Yeah.
And to see the cars and like lorries coming at you, it was a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, indeed.
Technology does need to improve, but for the time being, amen. That games like Super Hot are so fantastic.
There was a really interesting video on YouTube with John Carmack, who's in charge of who's handling the Oculus VR.
Right.
stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was saying how back in time, like with the console started coming out, people had to be very clever how things worked because of the restrictions, space, memory, etc. And he was saying we've now potentially got back to the point with VR where we need to start being clever again.
Yeah.
Because in between those times when storage became cheap, memory became massive,
people got slack and lazy, didn't they? Really?
Well, it's not even that. They could just do whatever they wanted. They didn't have to worry anymore. But he's now saying that we maybe need to start thinking back clever again and coming up with unique solutions to get VR a lot better. So it's a really interesting video, actually.
Nice.
It's one where, do you know those videos where you explain it to 5 different levels of knowledge? So
good.
Child,
that's actually quite good, because I'll take child,
adult, and then expert in VR.
Yeah.
So something like that. So yeah.
No, that's good. Those probably are a good watch. Yeah.
Indeed.
Okay. So.
Right, shall we move on? Yeah.
Yep.
Final topic of the day. We're going to talk about the first game you would make if you could make a game.
Yes. So if you could make any computer game, what would it be?
Okay. This is a difficult one. I've gone with basically a fighting game.
Yep.
But I'm going to do side-scrolling fighting game, like Streets of Rage.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So side-scroller, yeah.
Yeah.
I love these games as well. Obviously, I've not talked about them before now in this list, but for a long time, Mega Drive didn't have Street Fighter.
Yes.
But SNES did, and it ate away at me. So I would
Oh, dear.
play Streets of Rage 2, which is a great game in its own and not to be discounted.
The
It
best,
is a fantastic
the
game.
best Mega Drive game. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm really got hopes for Streets of Rage 4.
4.
I really do.
Yeah.
But I'd love to do like a comical, like side-scrolling beat 'em up, maybe similar in the vein to Castle Crashers or something like that.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe with not as much stuff. Maybe simplify it again,
Yeah.
but with like us as characters. So it'd be a
Oh,
wild
God.
Snorlax, a wild Snorlax Rage or something like that, or Streets of Wild Snorlax or something like that. But I'm just coming with a different, because I'd love to be able to just think about, right, okay, this character Neil, he punches, he also has a final form where he transforms back into his old self, who's a bit chunky and sits on people. I have really bad gas, so I guess that's one of my special
Gas
moves,
attack.
something like gas attack, and or something like that. Just
Yeah.
I mean, the thing I think about it is, it's like, oh, you've got all these characters. How do they interact with each other?
Mhm.
What are the enemy types? Oh, here's an enemy. Someone telling me to eat healthily. I punch him in the face, or or something like that, and then carry on and different bosses and things. But it's just coming up with a story. Why are we doing this side-scrolling beat 'em up? Because I like that aspect of it as well. It's not just thinking about technically how am I going to do this, because I don't have a fucking clue if I'm honest.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
But
It's
also just coming up with, well, what are the characters going to look like? I mean, and that's something I can maybe do. I could maybe just, I'm not good at drawing, but I could sketch out stick men or something like that.
Yeah.
Just come up with a thing. But just one thing to say about this is that at this point in time, in all our times with games, it's never been as easy to make a game as it is now.
Yeah.
That is the beauty of it. I mean, I'm
Still
hopefully
sad.
going to attempt. I'm hopefully going to attempt it.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to look at something with like Pygame, which is a Python gaming thing. So, but yeah, I would love to make a side-scrolling beat 'em, because I'm just thinking about how everything works in it. I mean, there was I forgot what it's called, but there's a side-scrolling beat 'em up on the Switch, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's really janky, and it's just like, this is kind of like the game I'd make. So,
But this
yeah,
is it.
that's what it'd be for me. Yeah.
You like want to keep it fairly simple. Back in the old
Indeed.
days of the ilk of like Streets of Rage, this is it.
But when you think about it, that's probably quite. I mean,
it's still complex as hell.
Yeah, and massively, yeah.
I think you're right.
We probably have an easier time of making Streets of Rage 2 now than the people who Streets of Rage 2 back then, because we didn't have the memory constraints or limits and stuff like that. So, or number of sprites on screen, or yeah.
Aye. No, that's a good shout, because I mean that is like a genre that still sells.
It's a staple. It's a
That's it.
staple.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
And I don't think we see enough of them, if I'm honest.
no, it's true. I think everybody's trying to go for the next hidden, enigma.
Massive 3D story, Last of Us 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good call. No, good shout. What would it be called though? Because I've got a name for mine. See, maybe
that's the problem.
I've thought of this way too much.
You have to come back to me.
I will.
I'm thinking.
Okay, well,
Come back to me.
this
I'll
is
have a name
mine.
by the time you finish.
This is mine. My game's called The Back of the Onion Bag. Now, because Onion Bag's the name for. I like football games. Obviously, Sensible's World Soccer is the best football game ever. Fuck off, FIFA. I love the arcadiness, but the competitive arcadiness of it all. Because I mean, a game doesn't necessarily have to be basic because it's arcadey. I know that sometimes those two things get crossed over. That everybody wants it to be insanely involved and all that. But I want a game. So my game is The Back of the Onion Bag. It's starring a guy called Barry Payne. It's nothing like Harry Kane. It's Barry Payne. It's basically a football player life sim with arcade elements. So think Sensible Soccer.
Counting buttons.
Yeah, exactly. Think Sensible Soccer mixed with Shakedown Hawaii or GTA 1, something like that. So where you've got to get to the stadium on time, so you have to get in your car and get to the point and dodge all this stuff to get to the stadium, or like training
Or
pitch,
run over everyone.
or run over everybody and get higher, press. Obviously, all news is good news. So I'm thinking you've got training, you've got your ex-girlfriends to try and avoid or swerve, make some life choices as well. And I just want it to be a bit more of like a fun life thing. It doesn't have to just be all about the football, although that will be half of it. Because I mean, I've played games like Player Manager and all that. Basically, they were rotten. They were horrible. So I was at a game where you take control on the pitch of just your one character. Again, FIFA did that with like Be the Pro and all that, but again, I'd like it in like form of like a arcadey sensible soccer kind of thing. So you take control of the player on the pitch, and also kind of like the clock is also ticking outside the like game as well. And you have to obviously do some challenges or gain notoriety or lose it. And I just think a game where you get awarded for being good at training, or you get deductions from like being bad at training and all that, and you get transferred to a shittier club basically because you're not doing so well. So you start off at, say, I don't know, a Spurs, like Barry Payne, or like Burrs, because it might not be Spurs, and then you get transferred to Colchester United because you've like done badly. And I think there should be options in life as well where you get a twists and turns as well. And I think I'd love it, because I think not enough games do a bit of the, because Sensible Soccer was great, but I wanted more. I don't know what more.
Yeah.
I just felt like if they did bring out Sensible World of Soccer in 97, 98, for example, what extra bolt-ons they would have done. And I'm thinking maybe they could have had like a career choice where you actually controlled the player as well. I don't know, but I think a lot of people would give it a go if it was done correctly. And so
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
It's like swerving the like paparazzi in like nightclubs and stuff like that. I don't know.
Indeed, yeah. I think your way to the exit without the paparazzi,
like a Splinter Cell.
The bird you're taking home.
Exactly.
Sorry, sexist. I do apologize.
Lady or gentleman. Wink.
Lady or gentleman.
But yeah, I think a game like that would be awesome. Maybe that's just pie in the sky me, but I think I would enjoy it.
I have a name for my game, by the way.
Okay, go on.
It's called Justice is a Place on Earth.
It's almost like Belinda Carlisle mixed with...
The main character is Beverly Canterbury.
Nice. You... It's better than Barry Payne.
Fighting...
Go on.
Yeah, she's just fighting her way to the circle on the sand.
Oh, that's...
I'm a fan of Belinda Carlisle. What can I say? But yeah, I'm trying to think of I was trying to think of one. It was a toss up between Death or Justice.
Yeah.
And you'd have to make a choice whether you execute the big boss at the end of the level, or
okay. Undertale style.
Or Smash Friends.
Nice, Smash Friends.
Or Smash Radio.
Jet Set Radio meets Super Smash Bros. Super Smash. Yeah, nice.
I've settled on Justice is a Place on Earth.
That's nice.
Beverly Canterbury.
We'll make these. Find them in Steam in like a week's time. Go.
For £800,000 each.
But no, if you've come through all of this, medal. If you've come through half of this, medal. But thank you for listening.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And tell us some of your thoughts in the comments as well.
Yes, please do. And on that note, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.